Hello and welcome to Pop Culture Shark, a live stream about all things pop culture. I'm Final Monkey,
And I'm Caleb.
and today is Revenge of the Fifth. So we are going to be talking about some Star Wars stuff. We just got done with Free Comic Book Day, and there's all kinds of news that broke this week. So we will be dealing with all that fun stuff. But before that, let's do our weekend checkup. Caleb, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Did you know that there was a Jason Bourne TV show that came out a couple years ago?
I am. I have never seen anything Jason Bourne, so I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Um, well, I was going through Hulu this week because I had just found Burn Notice. That's a show that I grew up with. I love Burn Notice, so I started watching it. And then like in the You May Also Like. There was a show called Treadstone, which, for those of you who like Jason Bourne, Treadstone is like the program that he was a part of. And I looked into it. I had no idea this existed. But on USA, there was a short-lived 10-episode TV series that was like based in the Jason Bourne universe. And I mean, I had no idea this existed, so I started watching it a little bit. It's pretty good. It's pretty all right. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, this is reminded me of something. Because like you got all these different, stuff's going on in the past. Some stuff's going on in the present. You have like four or five different, four or five different, uh, like story arcs going on, and I'm like, this feels a lot like Heroes. And then it said created by Tim Kring, and I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, there we
um,
go.
I don't know, I'll probably keep watching it because it's fun. um, but yeah, it's we'll see if it's okay. What's up, Tripping Orc? What's up, Rex 85? Is that Jonathan?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
That's
what's up? What's up? Um, so real quick, but before we continue with the weekend checkup, last week, for those of you who noticed, we released a because you had the robotics thing last week, so we pre-recorded on Saturday and then released it on Sunday, and we noticed that the actual pre-recorded post got a little bit more traction. uh, I'm pretty sure that the algorithm prefers videos to live streams.
hmm
So from here on out, what we're going to be doing is we're going to do the live streams on Sunday. And then immediately after, I'm going to download, edit when I need to, and then upload an actual video version. I'm not going to edit it down or anything like the Shark Bites.
hmm
Um, we're just going to pretty much upload a VOD as just an upload on Monday. So
Yeah,
that
and we will take down the original live stream once we do
right,
that.
right,
So the
right.
the video will be there. It just won't be as the live stream now. So if you're looking for it, you'll find it as a video.
Yeah.
We're gonna try this, see if it works.
Hmm.
Just because YouTube is so screwy with
Yeah.
how it recommends videos,
we're
and
we're still trying to figure it out.
yeah,
um, but we still wanted to you know do live streams rather than always pre-recording, because the interaction with the chat is fun, and I want to keep doing that.
oh
So
yeah, definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
As far as anything else, honestly, everything else pop culture wise that I've been doing this week, we're going to be talking about in news and in May the Fourth fashion. We also had the Kentucky Derby yesterday. That was a lot of fun. It's always fun. Ironically, I've never been. However, I think that's pretty normal. I don't think anybody who actually lives in Louisville goes to the Derby.
It's rare. There are some people that get
Yeah.
into it, but it is not something that if you live here, I think the first time you see it, you're kind of like, oh, okay, and then you just get used to it.
Yeah.
And if you're born here, you're kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was more excited that Dave Portnoy was in town. So,
Yeah.
um, I didn't know. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That definitely sounds like it.
here's the thing: the rest of the country does not care about the Kentucky Derby, just Kentucky.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. Because like I work from home. I have coworkers on my team who are, from Louisville, some in Indiana, Southern Indiana, some are in Ohio, some Tennessee, some are all the way out in Vegas. Even the ones in Tennessee didn't know it was the Derby this weekend. So it's just Kentucky.
I only remember it because it's the same Saturday as Free Comic Book Day. The first Saturday in May is
Yeah.
Free Comic Book Day and Derby. So that's how I remember.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, I don't even know who won the Derby this year. I have no clue.
Mystic Dan.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
only reason I remember is because our family, we do like a Derby pool where the four of us put in $10 and we each get 5 horses, and then whoever wins gets the pool.
That's
And
fun.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, Cameron actually in his 5 that we don't choose the horses. My mom like just writes them down, puts them in and then we pick it one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron got the top 3.
Yeah.
Just,
So Cameron
but
bought dinner for everybody.
yeah. Yeah, Mystic Dan was the winner from yesterday.
Nice.
Okay. Cool. What about yourself? What's up?
Yesterday was Free Comic Book Day, so I
I
went
will
to
say I did not partake. It's not that I forgot. It's that with the Derby, um, it was extremely busy yesterday with like all the Derby parties. So I actually did not partake, and I definitely wish I had.
um our comic store has a limit of 3, so I bring all my kids so we get more comics. You know, uh, so usually the comics are usually just kind of teasers, like if you get like the Marvel ones, it'll be like, oh, here's the story we're doing this summer. Uh, the Energon Universe one was fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to ask you about that. Because um, I want to ask you about that because I've been kind of invested in that. I haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't read much past of where we stopped with Void Rivals, um, but the universe itself is interesting. So what's going on? Have they like paid off the GI Joe stuff?
So I'm just going to tell you what happened in Free Comic Day because I have not been reading all the titles either. So this is spoilers for Free Comic Book Day for Energon Universe. It starts off. It's 3 different stories. The Transformers one starts with Megatron fighting the Autobots, and it's kind of like a flashback memory that Megatron is having, and he is just killing Autobots left and right. And it shows how Megatron crashed to Earth. Basically, he got his arm chopped off by Optimus Prime, and he was hanging on, and of course Starscream shot him and made him crash land to Earth, which is typical Starscream fashion. And so, uh, if you saw the Cobra Commander series, Megatron has been chained up at Cobra Law,
Mm-hmm.
so he activated and woke up and started fighting all the Cobra Law troops, fighting Gobulus, and Gobulus shot out both of Megatron's eyes, but he got his arms back. So now Megatron has escaped, but he's blind and he's stumbling through the snow, and he's on his way to find Optimus Prime and everybody get revenge. So that's the first story. That's how this started out. I was like, "Holy crap, this is awesome!" Um, then we got the Void Rival Tales. I can't remember the pig guy's name, but it was about him again.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I don't remember his name. I liked him though. He was fun.
he was meeting up with a fish guy. I'm just gonna call him Fish Guy and Pig Guy because I don't remember their names. But the fish guy's like, what happened to the ship you stole? And so he's telling, oh yeah, the Quintessicons or whatever, the Quintessence, they stole it, whatever. And then we see that they're talking to Hot Rod from Transformers, and such a huge Hot Rod fan, so I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And Hot Rod is looking for somebody. He didn't say who, so now it's a big mystery. Who? I think it's probably Cup or somebody. I'm assuming. And so now he's basically told them how to follow the ship. So it's going to end up. Hot Rod's going to end up in Void Rivals, probably headed towards their planet or something. So that's exciting. Then the third story, Duke is picking his team for Transformers, or not Transformers, for G.I. Joe, and he recruits Baroness. And I'm like, what?
So, are you saying that there is a possibility that Duke and Baroness fall in love, and then it turns out the Cobra Commander is Duke's brother-in-law, and Baroness
I
is,
did have flashbacks of the G.I. Joe movie when this
and then
happened.
he takes off his mask and it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I did have. I don't think that's where they're going. I think Baroness is going to, of course, betray them. But it was just funny seeing her wearing her outfit, but it was all like patriotic colors and her saying "Yo Joe." Um, but here's the thing: was Hawk does not trust Duke, and he was trying to recruit Baroness for a separate team because he has two GI Joe teams. One that Duke does not know about. The other team's led by Flint and Lady J. And yes.
So that was actually a film that I grew up with. Like, I was a
I
kid when that came out.
saw that movie one time
So,
for free and wanted my money back.
I actually liked it when I was a kid. I thought it was fun, but I acknowledge that it has nothing to do with like um, the OG Joes. Um, you mentioned that you're a big fan of Hot Rod. I don't know why. I've been kind of on a Transformers kick lately. Just
Uh,
looking at stuff. And I'll ask my friends this. Who's your favorite Transformer?
Starscream.
Okay, okay.
My big three are Starscream, Hot Rod, and Grimlock.
So here's the thing. For some reason, I always thought that like of the OG fans, like everyone hated Hot Rod.
They do. I'm one of the few people that loves Hot Rod. I love
Okay.
Transformers, the animated movie. That is like if that's like your
Yeah.
Star Wars movie, like he's the Luke Skywalker of that movie. That he's the
Okay.
chosen one. He's gonna save the day. I just love it.
Gotcha. Okay. Because and that's kind of like the overrunning theme. Like, I've asked people what their favorite Transformer is, just because like I'm curious what people think. Um, Most people have said Hot Rod. Do you like Rodimus or just Hot Rod? So my brother Cameron, first of all, his favorite Transformer, I think he said, was Hot Shot, because we grew up with Armada. But he said that he likes Rodimus, and he specifically said Rodimus over Hot Rod. What about you?
Uh, I think I like Hot Rod better, but it doesn't. I mean, it's the same character. It's just one's
Yeah, yeah,
a little bit more Optimus Prime-ish. I like him a little bit more, young and brash and reckless
yeah,
and get into trouble. So
yeah,
I would say Hot Rod.
yeah.
Um,
Now, for all of you wondering, my favorite has and always will be Jetfire. I love Jetfire.
yeah, a lot of people when you ask them who their favorites are, they'll say Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Shockwave, and Soundwave both have their fans. And I like all those
Yeah.
characters, but I've just always latched on to Hot Rod.
Hmm. Yeah. And
I
then
have like I have like four Grimlocks, and I think I have three Hot Rods. So yeah,
I don't think I have any of my old Transformers from when I was a kid, and I've been like, I want to get like a Transformer, and so I'm like, I just want to find like a good Jetfire, um,
yeah,
like the Macross or something like that.
right, yeah. Um, I have read so Tripping Orcs they got last run in the last run in the last years and last run in director's cut. I've read
Last Ronin Lost Years, that is, I gotta be honest, Last Ronin Lost Years is not a good name. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like,
it's too long a title. Yeah,
it's too long of a title, and it's a tongue twister.
yeah. Um, I've read Last Runner. Last Runner is awesome. I have not gotten to Lost Years yet. Hope to soon.
I'm just waiting for you to make me read Last Ronin, honestly.
Oh, it's so good. I have a
I,
stack of Ninja Turtle books I have got to get caught up on over there.
I think this is how you know we're podcasters now. Is I don't read anything unless it's for the podcast now.
Man, that was yesterday. I was like, oh, I don't want to watch the Acolyte trailer, but I got to. Dang it!
Oh, we'll get to it. I don't know. I thought the trailer was fine. Like, it looks interesting enough. But like I said,
Yeah.
we'll get to it. And honestly, I think what we're gonna be talking about with like what's going on with the X-Men movie and the Acolyte, I think those are actually pretty connected. So
One last thing, and we can check up, and then we'll move on. I'm starting a side project. I've just been on this kick of knocking out things I've been planning to do forever, and just haven't got around to them. And there was this publication in England called Marvel Fact Files, published by Eagle
yeah, yeah, you told me about that.
Publications. I've started trying to collect them all. There's 7,500 of them. They're scattered all over the internet. I've found about 1,200 of them so far. So it's my mission to find them all, or to find at least most of them.
And like compile them into like a
I
Google
have a
Doc or
Yeah,
something.
I have a Google Doc that I'm compiling. It's 1,200 pages right now. Um, so I've been working on this. Now you could go on eBay and buy like a complete set, but it's like $350. And it's like, printed out on binders. Like there's a stack of binders and all this stuff.
Wait, complete set of 7,500 or
So the way it worked, it was a magazine, but the pages were tear out and they had hole punches in them. And you
okay.
would put them in order. They'd like be out of order. So you'd like, oh, here's Wolverine page 1 and 2. Here's Captain Marvel page 3 and 4. And then if you put them in order, you'd have a complete Marvel encyclopedia.
Okay.
And so if you find all 7,500 pages, you have like the ultimate Marvel encyclopedia.
I mean, honestly, that kind of that takes me back to when I was a kid and I would get like Shonen Jump magazine every week. Like that really takes me back. It may have been every month. I don't remember how often Shonen Jump magazine came out. But yeah, just tearing out pages and having to put them in order.
Yeah, so it's weird because I cannot find like a complete list of what the pages are. Like Wikipedia goes to like the first 100 and has them all,
Hmm.
like the names of the files at least. And then from 101 to 200, I have no idea what the file names are. So I'm gonna hit a point where I'm like, okay, I've got the first half. I don't know what this last half are. And I've been kind of just going through Pinterest and finding random ones and just grabbing them. So I'm sure I have some that are in the latter half. I have no clue which ones are which.
I gotta be honest, this is like the oddest but also most interesting hobby I've heard.
Yeah, but I mean, here I'll pull up one.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, let's see. Well, I just thought it'd be really cool to have like a resource for the podcast or
Oh
whatever, where I
yeah.
could just, oh, here's blah blah blah. But like here's one on, here's Dark Beast. It's all the info on him and tell us
When
about
did
his
these
stories.
start? Because these look
Uh,
recent.
they're fairly recent. They only stopped a couple years back. Let's see. Give me 5 seconds. Oh wait, I've still got it open. Wikipedia Marvel Fact Files. They started publishing them in 2013, and they stopped in 2017. And there's actually 250 issues that were released. So
And
uh,
7,500 pages.
it'll be 7,500 pages once, according to Wikipedia. I don't know.
So 250 issues. How many is that per issue?
Uh,
Any math blasters out there?
I'm trying to open my calculator. I'm too tired too. I'm on pain pills right now. I'm too tired to. Let's see. So 30 pages per issue,
Okay. That's not bad. Okay.
and
Cool.
I found like a shady website, so I'm sure. Um, I don't think I got any viruses, but we'll see. uh, they have the first, I think, 50 issues. So I've also been, I think I'm through like 30 issues of there, just downloading them from that website. So I'll at least have the first 50 issues guaranteed and locked
Mm-hmm.
in. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be a really cool resource once I have it done. If anybody knows somebody that has the list of all the issues, that would be awesome. There is a website that just sells the covers because the pages have all been ripped out. So at the end of the day, I may be able to just pull up those covers and find the list of things on that website where they're selling them. You know,
Yeah, I mean that makes the most sense.
so but then that's me writing them all down and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
that's probably where I'll get at the end of this is my summer project, so this will be. But I got a good start. I just started last week. I'm already up to like 1,200 pages,
Hey, there we go.
so I'll knock it out. But it's it's really cool. Like I'm learning about characters I didn't know about and stuff, and that's the thing about the Marvel universe. You always find some character you have never heard of, and you've been reading comic books for your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I found out Asbestos Man, a Fantastic Four villain.
Like like the bat guano,
No, like asbestos, like
like on the ceiling.
no, like the asbestos. It was the building material that was banned in the early 1900s because it caused cancer, but it's real fire resistant.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He was a Human Torch villain.
that's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh god,
So
that's
now,
that's
so
hilarious.
now I think he's like a Great Lakes Avengers villain. But yeah, he started out as a Human Torch villain.
Uh,
So
I love doing that with Batman villains. Like people don't know who Film Freak is, and I think it's hilarious because like I think what you could do is like you could make like a Suicide Squad of like Z level
oh
villains.
yeah,
It'd be hilarious. Like
there's some book that James Gunn recommends that somebody puts out. I'll find it, maybe put it in the comments. Of like all these obscure, stupid heroes from the 40s and 50s. So James Gunn loves all that crap
oh
because he
yeah,
puts them all his movies and stuff.
I mean I am ready for Ambush Bug to come back. Like
Oh, he will. Yeah.
I what a way to end a show, you know. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Brave and the Bold, the last episode was Ambush Bug.
Batman Brave and the Bold is so underrated.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I forgot to mention yesterday, Free Comic Day. They did a Mad magazine that's also worth picking up.
Okay.
It's all about Superman.
That's
It
fun.
it was. So
Yeah, Condiment King, please. That's absolutely like that'd be great. I want it. uh Honestly, like if you guys remember the story of Condiment King and all those other um villains that are kind of, Z level, they're all created by the Joker because they are also comedians. That's kind of the whole point of that animated series episode. So that would be fun. One that like Cameron and I always make fun of is because the animated series had a lot of ones, but there were in the new Batman Adventures they had some made up villains. Um, and there was one in an episode called Critters, and his name was Farmer Brown. That was it. Like I don't even remember. I don't even remember what his plot was. I just remember like he Farmer Brown. That was it. Um,
that's
but oh, go ahead.
that's that's amazing. This is the book I think I was talking about. The Strange and
Okay.
Unsung All Stars of the DC Multiverse.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, like, where do you come up with Peacekeeper if you're not into the multiverse? because the only time I ever heard of Peacekeeper before the Suicide Squad was in Grant Morrison's Multiversity.
Yeah, they
Uh,
have Peacemaker listed here, and detachable limbs guy and all that. Yeah,
uh, what is it? The Detachable Kid.
yeah, yeah. So dumb.
uh,
I think that they were doing a lot of a lot of drugs back then.
Matter Eater Lad. Oh, I remember Matter Eater Lad. Yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah. Um,
Bouncing Boy. Just the Legion of Superheroes. Like,
speaking of drugs, I was reading about Mr. Potter and It's a Wonderful Life, and the
mhm,
guy was like he was literally in a wheelchair and he was in intense pain every day of his life because he had broken his hip twice or something. And he was
mhm.
so they would give him $400 worth of cocaine every day to be able to.
Sounds like being on the set of Empire Strikes Back.
But I just now I'm gonna watch It's a Wonderful Life totally differently, knowing that Mr. Potter's just strung out on cocaine between takes and stuff.
Oh my god. So speaking of Batman, we can
Mhm.
go ahead and move on to news. I just saw this and I thought it was interesting. So there was this publication. I don't remember the name of the publication because it's not really one of the big ones. I just kind of saw it on Facebook, but it said fans vote. Fans, I guess vote Michael Keaton the best Batman, and I thought it was very interesting, and I wanted to talk about that and kind of throw our hat into the ring.
Now, are we
Uh,
talking just live action, or can we talk?
yes,
Okay,
because I mean, like we could talk Kevin Conroy all day. That's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But so not only is it just live action, but live action where they had like a major part. So I'm not talking about Ian Glenn in Titans or anything like that. I'm not talking about Pennyworth or Birds of Prey. These are just like whenever I went through the list that I was coming up with, these are the ones that had a really good impact on the story that was being told.
Hmm.
And so we have Adam West, we have Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, David Mazouz, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson.
Now, who is David Mazouz? I'm not familiar.
Gotham.
Gotham. Okay.
Yeah. Um, so there are a couple pieces of criteria that you can go over because there's the best Batman, but you also have to go over the best Bruce Wayne. Because I think that people who say that Michael Keaton is the best Batman are not taking into account that his Bruce Wayne is god awful. um, because his Bruce Wayne is kind of a nothing character. Um, but then you can also take into account So Tripping Orc, I actually I don't know if you're being serious or not. However, if I may say, I actually unironically think that George Clooney is one of the best Bruce Waynes. Um, because I mean, George Clooney is kind of like a Bruce Wayne type person in real life, and so if like we had a vigilante come out, um, and then it turns out it's George Clooney, no way. But that's the best cover. Let's see. They do have their own specific iterations, definitely. Uh, Me personally, I think a really underrated Bruce Wayne is actually David Mazouz because later on in Gotham, he's kind of a young adult at that point. He really plays up the spoiled brat uh, very very well.
Does
It's really fun.
does he ever suit up in Gotham or?
It's the classic. He suits up in the last episode.
Gotcha.
Yeah, um, but there comes a point where he's old enough to the where the fact that like he can wear like a leather jacket and hide his face and kind of be like a proto Batman. Gotham was kind of just everything was proto Batman. Jerome Valeska was a proto Joker. Um, the only ones who were kind of who they were from the very beginning were Penguin and Riddler, and honestly, they were like the best characters. um, but yeah, I love David Masoos. Tell me what you think about this, because actually, I don't know if you can speak on this because I don't think you've seen these movies. Cameron says that Ben Affleck could have been the best if he was given a good script, but the problem is the scripts that he was given were just so bad that we will never know.
I would agree with that. I've never seen the only DC films I've seen of the newer ones was Man of Steel and the Suicide Squad, um, or James Gunn Suicide Squad, whatever you want to call it. Uh, but yeah, his Batman was really screwed up because he was a killer.
Yeah,
He's not Batman.
yeah.
And Zack Snyder does not understand that there's a great debate that's been going on between him and comic book writers, and Zack Snyder clearly does not understand Batman.
Uh, Zack Snyder said that his ideal Batman movie is like a movie where Batman gets R-worded, assaulted.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I remember he came up with that quote like 10 years ago, 10, 15
Zack
years ago.
Snyder
Yeah, he's an odd one.
is strange, and
Yeah.
he's like, well, if you don't have Batman killed, then you're not testing the character. And I'm like, but that's what makes Batman Batman. He will find a way to not kill.
Yeah.
He will figure it out. Same with Superman, and that's why I was so mad at the end of Man of Steel. I was
Yeah.
furious. Um,
Um,
Tripping Orc, I didn't I only watched like part of season one. I think there was like Gordon's girlfriend. Something weird happened. Wasn't there something where she became like a dominatrix or something goofy or something?
no, so eventually Barbara Keene goes crazy and she kind of takes this is where it gets so Gotham is the oddest mix between Adam West Batman and Michael Keaton Batman. It's like that mixture. So it's ridiculous, but it also kind of takes itself seriously and it's really funny. And if you go into it expecting that, and they knew it was funny when they were writing it. So it wasn't like unintentional. But she kind of takes over Gotham's underworld and becomes a rival of the Penguin. um, and so the love triangle initially is Gordon with Barbara Keene and Leslie Tompkins, but eventually it's just Gordon and Leslie Tompkins.
So
Um,
so Dr. Leslie, the old lady from the animated series.
yes, yes. However, she's played by Morena Baccarin, so she's really hot in Gotham.
Well, yeah, but
But
I
yeah.
don't get. I mean, I do get it, but it's just weird when they cast like hot people as Aunt May or Dr. Leslie. It's just like, what are we doing? What are we
um,
doing?
but yes, yes, there was. Batfleck is Grumpy Old Bruce Wayne. Honestly, I think and it was intentional, closest to
Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah.
except the best line. Nobody ever talks about it, but the best line from Dark Knight Returns is whenever he goes to the Sons of Batman, grabs their guns and be like, "You don't use these. These make you sloppy."
Yeah.
Like,
These are the weapons of the enemy. Yes.
yeah. No one ever talks about that. But yeah, yeah, I definitely see where he's kind of like a grumpy. Could never get into Gotham or Smallville. Yeah, well, the thing is with I've never gotten into Smallville either. The thing with Gotham is they started off Gotham trying to be like a Law and Order procedural thing. It wasn't until season 2 and definitely season 3 whenever they're like, you know what, we're gonna make this goofy. So Gotham was one of those shows that just had like to take a season or two to find its identity, and once it found its identity, then I was on board with it.
And what's weird is I was really into Smallville. At least the first like 4 seasons or so. I was on board. Yeah. So
Um, and so other Batmans, Christian Bale. Christian Bale's kind of hard because you can like take him out of the bat suit and just make him like a generic vigilante, and then you've got kind of the same character. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, I thought Christian Bale did pretty good.
yeah,
Um, my favorite, I haven't mentioned it. I'm just letting you talk. Is Adam West. Adam West to
okay.
me is the definitive Batman. So much that they did in that series set up what Batman is for generations to come. Um, he will always be to me the definitive Batman. I know people make fun of that show, rightly so. It is a crazy show, but um, yeah, just the way they. I mean, they had strict rules on that show what Batman could and could not do. Um, and I mean, they would play it up to the not nth degree where like the bad guy ran to the women's changing clothes or changing room, so Batman and Robin had to run there with their eyes closed because they couldn't see the women changing, and
Yeah, that's funny.
but uh but yeah, just Adam West. You don't know. I mean, he was a handsome Bruce Wayne and just
Hmm.
just he was that character, and I just think that nobody has topped that since.
Now, before we talk about my favorite, we'll bring up Pattinson as well. I think he does a good job. I honestly, before I talk about him in any depth, I'm really waiting for what the Batman Part 2 has to do with him because we really didn't get to see his public persona, Bruce Wayne, which is very important. We just basically, in the Batman, we only saw Batman. Um, we don't really know what his public persona is because in the Batman, he really didn't have one. Um, Now, if I may, my favorite Batman is Val Kilmer. Uh, because I've been talking about like you've got this who's the best Batman versus who's the best Bruce Wayne. I think Val Kilmer, even though he's not the best at either, he does both really really well. And whenever I say the best Bruce Wayne, you've got two types of Bruce Waynes. There's the younger Bruce Wayne who's kind of spoiled brat, kind of what David Mazouz has going, what Christian Bale does, and then you have kind of like the more mature adult Bruce Wayne who is more involved with his family's company, kind of like what George Clooney has going on, uh, and so in Batman Forever, you've really got the best of both worlds happening, and so for me, I got to go with Val Kilmer.
That's not a bad choice. Val Kilmer is an amazing
Yeah.
actor. It's a shame he has cancer and it
Yeah.
has been kind of sidelined.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely, definitely.
but he's awesome.
Yeah. Have you seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
I have not. No.
Oh man. So I know I keep talking about how I need to show you the Nice Guys. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is kind of like the predecessor to the Nice Guys because it's Shane Black.
Hmm.
We'll have to do maybe like a he made me do a double feature where we watch both of those. Because Val Kilmer, so it's Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer in a buddy cop movie, and it's phenomenal.
That does sound fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Next up, you're a big fan of Infinity Watch, right?
So I wanted to bring up that Marvel does not know what to do with the Infinity Gems. Since Infinity Gauntlet, right afterwards, they had a good idea where Adam Warlock took the Infinity Gems and split them up and made a team where each team member had a gem, like Drax and Gamora and Pip the Troll. Then they sent it to do you remember the Malibu comic book universe, the
Yeah,
Ultraverse?
yeah.
They were in Marvel acquired that and gave them the Infinity Gems for a while. So they were stuck in the Ultraverse for a while. Then they finally got it back, and then they destroyed the Infinity Gems. They were reborn, and they gave them out to random superheroes. Like Wolverine had one, and Black Widow and Turk from Daredevil had one, and it was weird. So this is the latest they're doing with the Infinity Gems, and I think this might be. Does that say Thanos with two ends?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, all right, okay.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no. It's a misspelling. It's not. It doesn't
is,
mean anything.
is it is it Thanos' like evil clone? Like when Luke had the clone that had the two U's in his name?
Oh God,
Mm,
Luke.
Yeah.
Me and my friends make fun of that all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got Infinity Watch annuals, and whenever we did the Annihilation 2099, I had a whole lot of fun with that reading through, and you got to hear us live be
Yeah.
one over.
Yeah, I only saw the image for this, so this may be incredible. I don't
Yeah,
know. I just saw the picture and I was like, "Oh no."
we'll see. We'll see. So first up, we're gonna just skip over this. Just get into the annuals. Miss Marvel annual #1.
This
So
is what I saw, and I was instantly out. I was like, "Oh, don't give Miss Marvel the Infinity Gems. This is gonna be so stupid."
all right, written by Iman Vellani.
Part
Infinity Watch
4.
Part 4.
Okay.
Hero or villain? That's the question Multitude must answer as he stands at the crossroads of his own destiny, bonded with one of the Infinity Stones and brimming with power but no purpose. Will a run in with Miss Marvel be enough to tip the scales towards good, or will Multitude's guilt drag him down? Don't miss out as the Marvel Universe shaking saga continues. True believers. Plus, Derek Landy and Sarah Pichelli bring Nick Fury into the story, but what ties him to Infinity Watch? Are we in the middle of the story? Did I miss something? Should
That's what
we
it seems like. Maybe
should
there's
I?
an earlier article. Um, my question is, who is Multitude? It reminds me of just hearing the name. You remember when Marvel had their crossover with DC and they made a character they could share named Access that could jump from universe to universe? It sounds like something like that.
Okay, so I guess there's a
Thanos Annual starts the story. Maybe these are
okay,
in out of order.
maybe. Okay,
Yeah,
let's.
I
Here we
assume
go.
this
Here we
is
go.
just
Here we go.
okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Welcome to Infinity Watch. Thanos goes off to find the Infinity Stones, but he's in for a shock when he discovers that the Infinity Stones have been incorporated into actual people like Star, Quantum, Overtime, Prince of Power, and Multitude. Wait, there are 6 Infinity Stones, but only 5 people listed? You don't want to miss out the start of this Marvel Universe shaking saga. So,
So,
I guess they're new characters, or are these like, are you
well,
familiar with any of them?
Prince of Power has been a name that they've given to different characters. Hercules has been called the Prince of Power. Amadeus Cho. Um,
I would assume that this is Multitude because he was on
oh wait, Prince of Power. There was another character named that. That may be the character they're listing here. I don't remember what what story he was in. I think he was
who
in the later
wait, is this
Guardians
Prince
of
of Power?
yeah, I think he was in the later Guardians of the Galaxy comics I read.
So let's see. We've got so this is Star, I assume. Then we have Quantum. Overtime is in the middle, but we don't have a clear picture because Thanos is standing in the way. And then I guess it's Prince of Power and Multitude.
So the original Adam Warlock and the Infinity Watch, one of the big mysteries was who was member number 6.
So I guess they're doing that again.
Yeah, and the 6th member turned out to be Thanos at the end of the day, which was really interesting that after Infinity Gauntlet, you give him one of the gems.
So do you think that they do that again?
Maybe I'm gonna guess it's the opposite. Maybe Adam Warlock is the 6th gem holder.
That'd be cool. All right, let's see. Uh Oh, I get it. Okay, so it looks like that every annual is like a different holder. So I guess this is going to be Quantum with Spider-Man, or I'm sorry,
Okay.
Overtime with Spider-Man. Okay, the Time Stone Bearer, aka Overtime, takes on Spider-Man. It's time travel versus Spider Sense as the Infinity Watch grows and the universe lands in deep, deep trouble. Plus, Death Stone Bearer.
So
What?
is there a 7th gem or an 8th gem now? Where's I don't
The
know.
De-
It'd be cool if there's
Res-
like an anti. Maybe there's an anti Infinity Gauntlet made of 6 different gems.
See, that would be cool. That kind of reminds me of you remember the Dark Star Dragon Ball, the Black Star Dragon Balls? They could give it to Safe Space or Snowflake. I thought about that. I thought that.
You notice that comic book never came out. People still
Yeah.
talk about it, but it never came
Oh yeah.
out.
My favorite because it annoys Cameron to no end because he is on the spectrum is the spectrum. And it's like, oh man, Sam Alexander has autism.
Let's talk about those new Warriors characters really quick, like B negative, the vampire stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't think these are horrible characters. They're just Great Lakes Avengers characters. They should not be like actual superheroes. You know, they
Yeah.
should be something that Deadpool's making fun of or something. It was like Marvel missed the joke and tried to make them, or was going to try and make them actual superheroes.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Faced with the menace of Utgard and a prophecy of his own doom, son of Odin sought out the legendary Power Stone to aid his fight. Only two things are in his way. Firstly, the mighty champion of the universe with strength to match Thor's own. Okay, so I guess He-Man is here. He's a master of the universe, actually.
Mhm.
Was also questing for the stone. Secondly, the stone is now inside a person, the Prince of Power. That's a weird way to put it. The stone is inside a
Yeah.
person. It makes it sound like it
We
makes
need
it.
this.
Avengers! I have the kidney stone.
No, this is what it sounds like to me. Like we need the stone back, Prince of Power. Okay, we got to give me 48 hours for it to pass. It'll come out. Just wait.
Oh man, do you have any laxatives?
Yeah.
Oh man. Let's see. The journey of the Death Stone. Okay, so the Death Stone Bear is the back issues.
Okay. So this is like the 2099 Annihilation backstories of Dracula or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So then we already read
So
through the
so
Miss
so
Marvel.
far I'm not sold so far, but we'll continue
It,
reading.
it it is less interesting just because like honestly my problem is these are extremely vague.
Yeah, these characters we know nothing about them, and it's like they had to attach them to actual heroes to get us to read the stories.
So we're back to him. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And we're back
Oh.
here.
All right.
Part 5, Wolverine versus Infinity. Oh, so it's versus all of them. That's kind of fun. Logan's efforts to rescue a community from destruction are upended when the new Infinity Watch crashes into town. The claws come out to protect the innocents, but can even adamantium withstand the raw power of the Infinity Stones? The
No.
best there is must summon the best he's got to survive.
Please
Uh,
see Infinity Gauntlet issue 4, page 17 or whatever, where Wolverine stabbed Thanos and was instantly taken out within 2 seconds.
Nick Fury's investigation to a head as he closes in on the some. Okay, so I guess
This
Nick.
is this is Nick Fury Jr. Yeah, I can't stand Nick Fury Jr.
And then Incredible Hulk. Okay, this is cool. You know, this is gnarly. The Mad Titan Thanos carves a path of destruction to his next doomed target, the current bearer of the Mind Stone. But there's a very big, green, and very, very angry Hulk standing in Thanos' way. Introducing the master of the Mind Stone, World Mind.
So is that the Nova World Mind? If that's the Nova World Mind, you may have piqued my attention.
In the last issue, you have piqued his attention. Congratulations. Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait,
Oh,
wait, wait.
not Spider Boy. There's gonna be another month of this.
Uh, hold on. Let's get one thing straight, okay? I think Spider Boy is hilarious.
I don't know enough about him to have an opinion. I just know it's some Dan slot creation.
Do you know the joke?
No.
He's been there the entire time, but nobody like ever mentions him.
Oh, I hate that joke.
It's hilarious.
That's like Forget Me Not in X Men. I hate that. He's there every issue. You just can't see him because it makes you forget. That's such a stupid joke because everybody brings it up. Oh yeah, well there's an X Men they forget. No, there's not.
No, but it's not his power. It's just he's that unmemorable that even Peter doesn't remember having a sidekick. Like it's more
Well,
like it's more like a Scrubs gag or something.
well, then that would have been funnier if, like in every Dan slot story, he was just in the background, and it took like several issues for people to start going, "Who's that guy in the background?" Then finally, it's like, "Oh yeah, this is Spider Boy. He's been there, you know."
The entire time.
Yeah. Ugh.
Man. So
And we can talk about Dan slot some other time.
or
I
not.
I think he's a very creative guy,
I don't.
but I think he is not someone who's designed to put out a monthly comic month in and month out and keep it interesting. He has some great ideas. They just and his personality online leaves a lot to be desired. He's very attacks the fans and stuff, and especially if politics are involved. So
Yes, yes. Somehow Spider Boy has returned.
mm,
Next up, we're about to make some enemies in the fandom.
okay,
Um,
let's do it.
because so apparently there are rumors of there being a female-led X-Men Marvel movie. Like the Marvel MCU movie is going to be female-led, and the internet is up in arms.
Or female centric, or I can't remember what word they use, but yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be like
like
a
your
lead
your
lady.
point your point of view character is going to be a female instead of like Cyclops.
So
Like,
anybody up? So there's this issue with uh movie criticism. There's one of two things. So Marvel, let's say they change something. They change Namor's story. So comic book fans get upset that they changed the story or they changed the character. They made Silver Surfer a girl. I
mhm.
get that. Then there's the argument that, oh, you're being too faithful to the comic book. This is stupid. It's kind of like Marvel's damned either way. They're either damned if they do, damned if they don't. And this is one of those situations where if you read most of Claremont's run, it was female led, it was female centric. Kitty Pride, Storm. Storm was the leader for a long time. Uh,
and
there was more females than males on the team for quite a while. This is nothing new.
and then even the cartoons that you grew up with. Jubilee was the point of view character. Kitty Pryde in Pride of the X-Men. Kitty Pryde in Evolution. Rogue in Wolverine and the X-Men. Rogue uh in
Brian
the
Singer X Men movie.
Bryan Singer X-Men movie. Uh, Mystique in First Class. Even though that was weird, First Class is still a baller banger movie. Um, yeah, I mean, like it's and
This
here's the
is
thing, I don't think people are complaining that they're too faithful. I think people complaining are genuinely just complaining because they've been conditioned to complain anytime a
yes,
female pops up.
and I'm trying to get out of that. I'm trying to praise Marvel and Star Wars when they do something good, as rare as that is. I will tell you, X Men '97 is one of the best things X Men wise I've seen in a long
X-Men
time, if
97
ever.
at this point, Rogue is the point of view character.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
with some Storm episodes too. Like
yeah.
I don't know. I think people just are conditioned to complain anytime they see.
Yeah, so I'm trying to break that habit. I'm trying. I love WW Pro, but sometimes he just finds stuff to complain about that I'm like, I don't. I'm not seeing it. You're just, and I understand he's trying to get 3 videos out a day or whatever. I
Mhm.
get it, but still,
Um,
it's like I don't necessarily agree with you on this one,
yeah,
And so now if they do like A Force where the whole team is women and there's no males, then I might have a problem.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's definitely not gonna be that. Like,
No, no, there's no way they would.
I mean, here's the thing: we're never getting a force or anything like that because I mean, if you've got like Disney saying, "Oh, we're not doing anything with the original trilogy characters because Solo bombed," we're not going to do anything with an entire female team after Ghostbusters, uh, Girl Busters.
Well, they tested the waters with Endgame. That one scene where all the female superheroes are on screen at one time, and the sound of people's eyes rolling were so loud that Disney was like, "Okay, yeah, we can't do that," especially after they've seen some of their
Mm-hmm.
other things flop, like the Marvels movie that was 3 female leads
Mm-hmm.
and it bombed. So they're kind of like,
Yeah,
okay, we can't do this with our biggest franchise, potentially X Men. We cannot.
and
shoot
and
ourselves in the foot.
and the thing is you can do it in a in a natural way. Because I always point to this in the same year. No, it wasn't the same year. It was the year after. So if you all remember, uh, we 2019, we had Endgame, and then we all dunked on Marvel for the A-Force scene because it was stupid.
Hmm.
In 2020, The Mandalorian came out. And in the final episode of season two, well, okay, so 2019 Mandalorian came out, but in 2020, season two of The Mandalorian came out. In the final episode of season two, you had Din Djarin going off to save Grogu, off on his own. Boba Fett couldn't be there because he was kind of out, in the Slave One, keeping guard. And so you had Cara Dune, Fennec Shand, Bo Katan, and Bo Katan's uh, sidekick,
Yeah.
and it was a natural girl power scene because they didn't scream girl power. It just that's how the story happened, and it was really cool.
If you do it organically and do it well, I probably won't even notice you've done it.
Right, right.
If I don't notice
Nobody.
you've done it, then I'm fine.
Yeah,
It's when you're going out of your way to, that Spice Girls moment of this is real girl power.
yeah,
It's just
yeah. You have Just a Girl by No Doubt playing during your fight scene.
yeah, yeah. You
uh,
have
that
oh,
actually happened in the first Captain Marvel movie. Just a Girl by No Doubt was playing.
oh
I have to explain that to you because you've never seen it.
no. What is the other band that your mom's a big fan of that I actually like quite a bit? What is the One Girl Revolution? Who sings that song?
Super Chick.
Super Chick. I actually like Super Chick, but yeah, it'd be like also a Super Chick song starts playing
Yeah.
One Girl Revolution. It'd be like,
Yeah. um, well, It's On by Super Chick is like the go to mid 2000s fight, like in Tim Allen's Zoom or something like
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, anytime I
that.
listen to Super Chick, I want to go buy a bra and set it on fire.
But yeah, like as far as far as female led X-Men or female centric Superman X-Men. What am I talking about? The female led Superman is My Adventures with Superman, which I like that too. Uh, as far as this goes, I mean, like legit,
I
this
just
is this is what X-Men is, and if
yeah,
if you're complaining about it, you're complaining because you've been conditioned to, and you
yeah.
don't actually know X-Men.
This was like the complaints about Magneto and Rogue having a relationship. And I was like, well, did you read the comic books? This has
Yeah,
been what it has been for 20, 30 years now. So
yeah.
I may not like that comic book point, but you can't say, oh, they're not being faithful to the comic books when they're being faithful to the comic books, So
Let's see. What do I have next? Oh yeah. Did you hear about this?
I heard some chatter about it. I had no clue what they were talking about.
Oh, okay. So, from what I can tell, they might be re-releasing. Like, do you remember how there's like a cartridge for the Nintendo World Championships that goes from.
Very rare.
Yeah, it's very rare. From what I can assume, it looks like that, and it was on Eurogamer or something like that. That they had an ESRB rating for it,
Hmm.
for something called Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. It looks like they're going to be re-releasing it on the Switch, which is cool.
It's cool, but it's weird because it's just like here, play Super Mario Brothers and try to get the score or whatever. It's
Yeah.
not like you've played most of these games before. It's I don't
hmm
know, very
I, I
strange.
I almost wonder if they're going to be releasing it on the NES. Like they're not going to be selling it, but they're going to be releasing it on the NES not the download thing, but what are the Nintendo Online or whatever it is.
What was that game that was on? Was it the Wii U, the retro game that mixed up all the
NES
remix?
Remix, NES Remix,
Yeah, I
and
wonder
then
if it's something like that.
maybe I loved NES Remix and I
Oh
loved
yeah,
NES Remix 2.
yeah,
Like
those
those
are
were
great
great games.
games. Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to talk about this. People only wanted it because it was rare.
yep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, I mean, that's the name of the game at this point.
Listen, if Nintendo wants this to be popular, they got a green light Wizard 2 with Fred Savage and get people hyped for this. So
Oh man, and get a John Numbers to cameo.
was he in the original?
John Numbers?
Yeah,
No. I don't think he was. He might.
born yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, he John Numbers. He won the. I don't remember who won the second one, but he won the first revival Nintendo World Championships.
Oh,
When it,
really?
yeah, they like it was where they reveal because you know how like at the end of the Wizard they revealed Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
So they did the same thing where they revealed Super Mario Maker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it was him versus Cosmo, right?
Okay.
Uh, now Narcissus are right. If you guys want to go down that rabbit hole, I don't suggest it.
My head hurts. Yeah, I have no. You lost me about halfway through those sentences. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
he's saying words, but I don't understand these words that are coming out.
Well, as long as we're saying words, let me say some more words. So, have you like heard? What do you know about Helldivers?
I know it was extremely popular. I've seen some clips where it looks fantastic, and then something happened last week where they
Mhm.
required PlayStation logins, and people like lost their minds or
Yeah.
something.
So essentially, what is happening? Is Helldivers is it's not a game that I play because I play Destiny and Destiny is pretty much one of its rivals. Um, so it's a very popular game. Comes out. The company who makes it, I don't remember the name of the company, but they released this. They released this game on Steam, and hey, there we go. There's my boy. There's my boy. um, so Helldivers, what is happening is the company's owned by Sony. They release it on PlayStation 5 and on Steam. And so people are playing it on Steam. They're having a grand old time. Last week, now they're requiring, even if you're playing on Steam, an account linked to your PlayStation Network account to play the game. So if you're playing on PC, you have to have a PlayStation Network account to play this game. And there is, in half of the world, you cannot create a PlayStation Network account without an actual PlayStation. So essentially, if you don't have a PlayStation 5, in order to play Helldivers 2 in some areas of the world, you have to pay $500 to buy a PlayStation 5 in order to play this game on PC.
Yeah, that sounds like an oversight that someone
Yeah,
made, or
yeah,
someone did, or they knew what they were doing, and they just
yeah.
does a PlayStation Network account? Does that cost money? Is that like a
Yes.
so it's like the Nintendo subscription where it
Yep.
costs like so much a
Mm-hmm.
year?
Yeah.
Oh, this
Yeah.
yeah, that yeah, okay, I understand now why people are furious.
Yeah. And once again, Bungie comes out victorious by doing absolutely nothing. I don't know how Bungie does it. Like, they can fumble the bag, but, their rivals, whether it's Warframe or Helldivers, they'll fumble it even worse.
The worst thing that has happened to video games is most of these publishers are
Yeah,
publicly
that's right.
traded. They're
That's right.
publicly traded.
Player
Uh,
protection is what they're concerned about, even though PlayStation has gotten hacked more times than any other game company I've ever seen.
yeah, they um, yeah, I lost my train of thought. Whatever I was saying. But yeah, the fact that these companies are all traded, they have to make profits, and so when they do that, they make these really stupid decisions, like like the Square Avengers game, where oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're gonna have people subscribe and pay us all kinds of money, and I think the same thing happened with Suicide Squad recently.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The so
Yep. So, and ironically, Helldivers is very much about democracy and freedom. The irony is not lost on me. It's so funny.
they look like Cobra soldiers or something from GI Joe. Yeah.
Uh, Honestly, I think I think before all this, this would have been your bag, Helldivers, because this is very much Starship Troopers. It's about the colonies of Super Earth taking on like these bug robot things, and
Nice.
it's very much Starship Troopers.
Sounds a little bit like StarCraft. Yeah.
A little bit, a little bit.
Yep.
They've become the very thing Helldivers swore to destroy. You can make an account for free. It's PlayStation Plus that costs money. Okay, gotcha. Now, once again, I do think that there are places in. There was I was watching an Asmongold video on it. There are places, and if you look at like the coverage area of not the United States, but of the world, kind of like a Verizon map, it looks like at least half the world that can't make accounts for free. So it's if we're being completely honest, it doesn't affect America that much, but it really sucks for others, and it is also the principle of it.
Yep.
So
And also, like we said earlier, people like to complain. So this is what everybody's
yeah,
complaining about this week.
yeah. I'm here just dunking on Helldivers because I'm a Destiny player. So yeah, but I thought that was an interesting story too, because I don't know, I'd never heard anything like that before. We're like, imagine, you know what this is? So Helldivers 2 at this point, remember how like at the beginning of the year everyone was obsessed with Power World?
Yeah.
Helldivers 2 is kind of like it's the new meta. It's the new most popular game right now. Imagine if Power World was like, okay, so now you have to get Xbox Gold in order to play Power World.